Hi, Brother Smith, Brother Jones. Listen, we've got this crisis need. We got a family in town. Their house just burned down, and we're just out collecting money. Oh, no, I've already given my tithe. I've gave my 10%. I'm not obligated to give any more. Okay, well, the problem with that is that that's a heart issue. That's a heart issue. Okay? But there are people, good-meaning, well-meaning Christian people say, well, I already gave my limit. The tithe is not a maximum. The tithe is a term that means a minimum. It doesn't mean the ceiling, it means the floor. You say, well, I'm a New Testament version. I live under grace, so I'm allowed to choose, and there's this in the Old New Testament, and this, that, and the other thing. This is what the New Testament says. And if you'd rather live under the New Testament, which we do, whether you want to or not, we live under the teachings of the New Testament. Same pizza. How much belongs to God? Well, according to the New Testament, it's for by Him all things were created, and they were created for Him. So He owns it all. Even in the New Testament, God owns the whole pizza. How much can we use? Well, in Luke 21, the last line down here says, out of her poverty, this is the story of the widow who gave just 2 small coins. She put in all she had to live on. That doesn't sound real comforting. To put in everything that you have to live on. You don't like that one? Well, let's go to this one then. Jesus told the rich young ruler, is how a lot of us learn the story. The guy comes and says, hey, what do I got to do to get to heaven? Jesus says, you got to obey all the commandments. He says, I've already done all that. And Jesus said, well, now all you got to do, go sell everything you have and give it all away. Give it all to the poor. That's not a possessions issue. That's a heart issue. And so the New Testament says that God has the right to demand and ask for it all. So since we live under the New Testament, God has the right to ask me for all of it. Doesn't mean I have to say yes, because He's not going to put me on His thumb and smash me. But He has the right to say, Tom, this week I want you to give 30%. Tom, this week I need you to give $12.87. He has the right to say, Tom, just sign over your paycheck. That's God's privilege in the New Testament. Because that's what grace is. God's grace has blessed us in such a way that He has earned the right to say, it's all mine, you're mine, it all belongs to me. Look at what it says in 1 Corinthians down here. It says that men, they'll be us, men and women, ought to regard as the servants of Christ, and those entrusted with the secret things of God are required to be faithful. Let's say that you have your money at whatever bank. Let's just pick one, Bank of America. And you've put your retirement savings there, and let's say they've got $100,000, and all of a sudden you're getting ready to retire, and you go knock on the door of Bank of America and say, hey, I'm ready to start drawing on my retirement. And they go, oh, I don't know how to tell you this, but we used it. Is that being a good steward? No. It's the same thing, it's happening all over the place. The Enron thing, classic example. You got people that are literally ready to retire the next month, and the whole company just disappears with all their money. With all their money. That guy that's up in New York that got all those people, what, $50 billion or something like that. Dude disappears with all these people's money. That's not being a good steward. And in the New Testament, you and I are called to be stewards. And a steward is somebody who takes care of something that belongs to someone else. If you want to change words, just put the word babysitter in there. Okay? You and I are babysitters. All the money belongs to God. He lets us use 90% of it. And we're taking care of it. We're taking care of it. We're using it wisely. So that when God comes back one day and says, oh, by the way, I'm here to get my stuff, we're able to go, guess what? I got it. I got it. It's over there. And for us, it's investments in people, and it's ministries, and it's opportunities to reach people with the gospel. That's the things we're investing in. God has the right to ask for it all. Our job is to take care of it all. But there's still part of it that doesn't belong to us that we're not able to use. In the Gospel of Matthew, it says, we know what you love by where you spend your money. That's basically the Tom Tufts Message translation of that. We all have the same number of hours, correct? 168 a week. And how do you decide what you're going to do with those hours? By what's most important. And if the choice is, my son who has severed his leg and bleeding to death are going to Wendy's, I'm going to make a choice. Am I going to take care of my son? Now, how am I going to make that decision? By whether or not I'm hungry? No. By what is most important. And the old saying is, your daytime and your checkbook give away more about your heart than any 2 pieces of items that you own. Where do you spend your time? Where do you spend your money? And according to the New Testament, your heart tells us. Your heart tells you where you invest your money. Your heart is telling you what's most important. The things that we invest in, our stuff, our friends, our retirement, those things are all important things. But they're not most important. They're not most important. You and I are called to live by the law of love. And the law of love is to say, if you see somebody in need, we're supposed to take care of them. See, here's the weird thing, and this isn't a political speech by any means, but let me say this. If the church lived like the church is told to live, we wouldn't need Social Security. Read the book of Acts. The Bible says that all the people brought all their possessions together, and that everyone got everything they needed to survive. My mom's old line was, nobody should have 3 dogs till everybody's got 1. If I need a dog and you've got 3, you don't need 3. You don't need but 1. I should have a dog. You know, and I was cleaning out my house yesterday because we had company over, and I cleaned out this closet. Okay, closet at my house is spelled M-E-S-S, mess, closet. And I'm going through there, and I have winter coats in there, and I live in Orlando, Florida. It's just a thought. Why do I have them? We might need that someday. Yeah, right. Okay, if it snows enough in Orlando, Florida, for me to need these coats, there's like 3 dead animals on every coat just to keep me warm. Okay? If it snows that much in Orlando, we're not going to need coats because we'll already be in heaven. Okay? It's not going to happen. But why do I hold on to it? Because it's my stuff. It's my stuff, and I got to hold on to it. I mean, God forbid that I actually give it to somebody who might need one who's living on the streets of Orlando. You know, duh. I don't need 12 coats. I don't need 4. You know, I need a windbreaker and a raincoat and a sort of warm coat and a zip-up sweatshirt. That's all I need. I'm good. I don't need another pair of black shoes. I don't need another pair of tennis shoes. You want to wear one pair at a time. Right? Unless you're walking on your hands, too. And that would really silly. My point is, if we did what the Bible teaches, the early church lived like a commune. They shared their stuff. What? You don't have any beans and rice? I got some here. What? You need that? I got some. No problem. That was the way the early church lived. And if we lived that way, taking care of our senior adults, like the Bible teaches we're supposed to do, we wouldn't need Social Security. So there's your pizza. We all get the same pizza. If I had that pizza, it wouldn't have just pepperoni on it. But maybe you're a pepperoni person. So everybody's pizza is a little bit different. We all get enough pizza, though, to make ends meet. How we handle the pizza is indicative of our hearts. So what happens to God what happens when you trust God with your finances? I'm going to tell you a story that happened to me this week. When we started this series last week, there's a part of this that you got to understand, that when you're the pastor, you're living your life in, what's the word? No, not a fishbowl. There's a line between being transparent that puts your family at great risk. Okay? And I've chosen, in this particular subject, which I'm going to tell you 25 years after being married, this is not something that I've done well my whole life. It's not something that I've always been on top of. But it's something that I want to be on top of. And so it's kind of like when you go on TV and say, hi, I'm the new Jenny Craig spokesperson. Okay, the whole world is watching you. Okay, that's probably why you're going to lose weight, because everybody's watching you. Besides the $1 million they paid you to lose weight, might be an incentive as well. And so last week, when I started to tell you about my family and our journey,